But yeah, it's been like a lot of doctor's appointments, which is fine, but it's also like lots of like phone appointments and that kind of stuff. And like, I'm trying to figure out how to do some more like, well, not how to do, but to do more like interviews and stuff with some people for my chronic illness channel. And then I can ideally then I can like ideally have more people on it, and I think it'll be good to have like have other people participate in that kind of thing, because it's something I've wanted to do. Like I did way back, I did do some interviews where I think I turned my mic down. That was the wrong one. I did some interviews of people that had like different illnesses and stuff, and I had a blog and I was like reaching out to other people and I was doing it that way, which is fun. Like I didn't mind doing it that way, but I think having it like doing chronic conversations like we're doing on my Ari Villain channel on YouTube, I think will be beneficial to a lot of people, because it'll give everyone kind of the opportunity, if they want to share like their mental health journey, or if they want to share their like chronic health journey and that kind of stuff, gives people a safe platform to do that, to like discuss that sort of thing, because I feel like there's so much stigma around a lot of that stuff still. And as someone who's been very stigmatized for many reasons and had a lot of like ableist things said and done towards me over the years, and felt like I just haven't been listened to or been heard, I feel like having a channel like that, or having like a portion of my channel dedicated to that kind of stuff, is kind of, if not really important to me, it's like extensively important to me. And I don't even think I'm using the right words today because I'm so overtired, but it's something I've wanted to do for a while, and I feel like I finally have this space now because I don't have other distractions going on in my life. So I've been trying to get people interested, or like just keep talking to people that I have talked to before and asking them if they're interested to share more. And even if I interview someone once, like who knows, maybe we could do like a series of interviews with like the same person, and then have them share like multiple aspects of their lives, and maybe not just make it about like being sick, because I find like a lot of stuff is about like, oh, you're sick and this is what you are. You know, it's kind of like it becomes someone's identity according to like other people, if that makes sense. And that's something I want to kind of try to steer away from. I kind of want to have someone be able to share their story, but also like talk about what they're doing in their life outside of their illness. So kind of introducing people like with what their illness is and that kind of stuff, and then maybe talking about how they cope with things, you know, might be helpful, because everybody copes different. And like for myself, it's like video games and art, right? Like I'm drawing or painting or, you know, doing whatever, and like I keep wanting to make a doll and I keep forgetting to order the fucking foam, so I need to write that down. And all I have is fucking oh, there's a pen, so that we can make one of the dolls on stream, which will take like a bunch of weeks, right? Doll stream, order foam, just like stuff like that really helps me to deal with my situation. Like I had an instance recently where I was at a doctor's office because I have to get injections and stuff, and the nurse was like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? Like, you probably got some fun plans or something. I was like, well, like she's like, are you going out, or, you know, going camping or whatever? I was like, no, I stream on the internet, and like I don't really go out. I live a very bubbled life. And she's like, that sounds like depressing and not so fun. And I was like, I think it's all on perspective, right? Like maybe if I just focused on the fact of all the things I don't have, I would be really fucking negative. 100%. I'd be really fucking negative. I would probably hate my life. If I just sat here and complained about everything that was going wrong or everything that pissed me off, I would be very negative, and I would have a very negative existence, and I would probably have a very tough time with everything. But I don't do that. Like, I generally try to think about the things I can do. And there's a video I made for YouTube quite a while ago, actually, I think. And it was talking about how, like, you know, what are the things that we can do? What can we do to, like, help ourselves get out of our funk, so to speak, and, like, challenging people to write an I can do list. Because when we focus on everything we can't do, like, if I focused on I can't go out, I can't go bowling, I can't go swimming, you know, I can't go to the movies, I can't go to the mall, I can't, eventually I'm creating this big black cloud that's gonna turn into a massive pile of bricks and crush me. So why would I do that to myself? So instead of doing that kind of stuff, I'm like, what can I do? I can do art, and I can stream on the internet, I can play video games, you know, I can do my laundry or whatever, you know, I can make myself food, I can use my exercise bike, like, and just, like, do that kind of stuff. And then after I do stuff like the I can list, as an example, I get to this place where it's like, all right, awesome. I start to, like, pump myself up in a way where I can continue to do other things, like, you know, like, I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna do that, and I write it on my sticky note wall, like I talked about on YouTube the other day, and I make, like, a huge thing of sticky notes on my wall, and as I finish those things, I take them off the wall. Like, I've taken a couple of them off today because I was like, okay, that's done. Like, I have some drawing ones that I've written up there that I want to draw on stream. Haven't gotten to them because I don't remember what happened last week. Oh yeah, I ended up having an allergic reaction that lasted for a while. So yeah, I couldn't end up drawing. So there was that. But it's like, even that, if I just focus on, like, how many times I have allergic reactions, and I'm not talking about stuffy nose, I'm not talking about being itchy or just hives or whatever, like, all that stuff sucks. I get all that stuff too. But it's like my throat's jumping and it's threatening to close, and, you know, my face is starting to swell and that kind of stuff, and my breathing is impaired. Like, those kinds of things, it makes it really difficult to get on here and sit here while having those kinds of reactions, because I'm fighting for my life. So in those instances, I self-care, and I also remind myself I've made it through before, I can make it through again. And I'm the one that tells myself I'm going to be okay, I'm going to be okay. I've done that through numerous situations that have been relatively traumatic with my health, but I have gotten myself through, and I have become my biggest supporter, and because of that, I continue to push forward. So I do really want to give other people the opportunity and the space to have a place where they can talk about their illness and not feel judged, because I know for myself, I've felt immensely judged over the years for even just mentioning any of what I have, and then having people shut me down and tell me to stop fucking complaining when I'm talking about my existence and what I'm coping with and what I'm living with. Talking about nearly dying from having allergic reactions is not fucking complaining. It's not. It's not. It's sharing something that was traumatic, that's scary, and a reality in my life. So when other people are dealing with very messed up diseases and people are telling them to stop complaining, they're shutting them down and being dismissive. And it's not complaining to share what you're going through. If people want to talk about their situations with work or their spouse or their children, people should be open to the idea of listening to people talk about their illness. And if they're not, I'm going to make them listen, because I'm going to help other people tell their stories on my channel. And that is what I want to do. I want to interview other people. I want to build connections with other people with chronic illness. And I want to help to lift other people up, because I don't want to be someone that is empty and helps to empty others. I am a full person. I have a lot to give, and I want to help to fill other people's cups aside from my own. I just want the world to be better, man. And I think that it's a lot harder when we close ourselves off and we refuse to either share what we're going through, or we just, like, degrade ourselves and make ourselves feel small. And for what? Like, we're not meant to do that. You know, we're meant to, I believe, help one another. Like, I've heard all of these people over the years talk about, like, I don't know what the meaning of life is and this and that. And I've said it before. I think personally, a lot of it is helping one another. If we have knowledge of how we got through something really fucked up, like trauma or like other things like disease and that kind of stuff, and it has a refining effect on a person. I am completely changed from who I was 15 years ago because of all of the, like, the cancer, the rare disease, the PTSD, everything. Like, I have learned so much about myself, and I have become hyper observant of others, and I can see behaviors in people that are making them drown in their own self-pity. And it sucks to see, but some people will listen and others will not. And if people are going to listen, that's great. And if they're going to be open to actually changing and working on themselves to be better for themselves, that's great. I want to be a part of that. But I can't make room for people in my life anymore who are just going to be negative and try to make me negative through their negativeness, because it's unhealthy for me. And I'm not an overly negative person. Yes, I have down days. Everybody does. But at the end of the day, I am happy. I am happy with who I am as a person, and I'm happy with the direction I'm going, and I'm happy that I am pushing myself to do the things that I love, which includes streaming, because even if there's a couple people in here, or even if there was a ton of people in here, I would still love doing it, because it's an outlet for me. It helps me to keep going, and that's why I do it. I don't do it because I want to get famous. Like, that's not a good enough reason to do something, in my opinion. Anyways. You can help me fill my cup with Tang. I suppose I could. I feel like my camera is, like, getting higher, or I'm getting shorter. I don't know which one it is. But yeah, not to like totally reiterate everything, but I truly feel like if more people tried to lift a person up that was next to them, whether it was a family member, a spouse, their children, instead of like berating them, how much better would the world be? You know, how much more kind would the next generation be? Like, people always want stuff, you know? Like, stuff is great, don't get me wrong. But I think the best gift you can give to someone is calling them out on their shit. Being like, hey dude, you're being an asshole, and you need to check yourself, because that is what true friendship is. That is what true caring and compassion and understanding of the human condition is taking a step back, evaluating yourself, checking your ego, not allowing yourself to get defensive to the point where you start yelling at someone, being like, I'm not a fucking asshole, you're an asshole. That's your ego getting in the way. You know, if people could have conversations with one another, could you imagine there'd be no fucking war? Like, if people sat down and could just talk in a calm voice and understand where someone else was coming from. But I don't think humans are there at this point. Like, why is there all this stuff about being such a woke society when people are still so full of prejudice, still full of hate, still trying to shove their own opinions down other people's throats? And for what? Just to get them to a point of like, I am superior than you and I am going to push you under my foot kind of thing. And that's not okay. Like, everyone is equal. Everyone's opinion matters. And if people learn to talk and communicate, I think the world would be a much better and much more peaceful place. And I don't know if that'll ever happen in my lifetime. Your cam has been stealing your gummies because it's getting high. Probably. I think too, like, because I have had cancer and I had cancer at a young age and I saw how people around me treated me, trying to like make amends with me, stop talking to me, starting to act weird, just seeing like ableist stuff come out when I was 22, and now being 30, almost 38, like I've had 15 years of being treated a certain way, and that wears on a people, whatever, fucking words. But at the same time, it's also taught me so much about myself, how much I can handle, how strong I actually am for getting through so much things, and how resilient I am as a person. And the reason I am those things in that way is because of the cancer, the rare disease, having to advocate for myself, having to do all of that legwork myself, having to do it all myself. I wouldn't be where I am today mentally or with my physical health, being on the medication that I'm on to help my, my heart rate not go so high and my blood pressure not go so high, and making sure that I have lesser, hopefully, allergic reactions and all of this kind of stuff if I did not advocate for myself. And I think sometimes people get so caught up in the idea of having another person do all of these things for them, like, oh, I should have someone do this or that for me. Well, yes, maybe to some degree, but as someone who really wants more independence than I actually have, I find that when I see people being manipulative towards others, trying to get things out of them, their view of life is skewed, because it's not about things and stuff. Like, it's really not. Like, yeah, things and stuff and money are great, but if you're not okay with who you are deep down, you're gonna be fucking miserable forever. It doesn't matter who you are. That's just the way it is. Do you know how much time I've had to myself in the last 15 years? Tons. Tons of fucking time. I've had time to get cabin fever to the point where I couldn't stand being by myself, to the point where I am now peaceful alone. And it's been a journey and a half, but I am thankful for it. And yeah, it sucked. And having tons of people leave because I'm sick sucked. But you know what? At the end of the day, they're not my people. They're not the people I want to have around me. If they can't be there for me and listen to me vent or rant and rave like I am right now, talking about shit that happens in my life or has happened, then why the fuck should they ever be around when I get to the point that I will get to, that I want to get to with my life, because I am driven. I'm not quitting on anything. I will never quit on the things that I want to do until I'm dead. So if my diseases end up killing me, then fine. But at least I'm going to die trying. And I would much rather continue to do the things that bring me joy than just, I don't know, be a dick to other people. I just don't get it. Like, going out of your way to be exceptionally rude to someone or try to like squash someone's hopes and dreams. If someone came to me and was like, hey, I want to be a graphic artist. Hey, that's cool. Go do your thing, But if you don't have the means to support yourself in your life at that moment, like if you cannot afford to pay your bills, then you might need to get a job to be able to pay your bills until you can get to a point where you're financially sound as a graphic artist, and there you go. Then you can get rid of that other job. But just this idea of not working hard and reaping a reward, it doesn't mesh, and that's not logical. You have to put in the work. You have to be willing to do stuff that other people are not doing. Like, I didn't stream this week because I had other stuff I had to do. That's just the way it is. If I didn't do those things, then I'm not working towards my goals that are really true and near and dear to my heart, and are essentially things that I want to make happen. Like I said, the whole Chronic Conversations podcast thing and having other people come and talk, right? Like that whole thing, I want to do that. I've always had a fire in me to want to help other people. That's never going to go away. Like, it's always there. Even when I get really depressed, there's this little voice inside of me that's like, you have this knowledge, you should share it with people. And I want to. Like, I want to encourage other people because I had no encouragement for the longest time. I didn't have people rooting for me. I had people laughing at me, and I still do. I have people not believing in anything that I'm doing. They think that I'm a joke and I'm not going to get to where I want to be. And, oh, you're just a woman, so yeah, good luck with that. Or you're not smart enough. You're not good enough. You know, you're not talented enough. I'm driven enough, though. I have the drive. I do. I may be sick, and I may have diseases that knock me down literally and physically and beats the shit out of my body at times and my mental state, but I'm not quitting. And I really won't. And I've said that to people in the past, and I've had partners before that have tried to essentially beat me into submission or verbally beat it out of me to the point where I start to question myself. But never again, man. Like, I am not dating. I'm not dating for the foreseeable future. I will not be doing anything with anyone in that regard. I am not looking, nor do I want it. Because I want to do all of the things that are on these hundreds of sticky notes on my wall. And I'm gonna do those things. And if I end up meeting someone along the way, I'm not letting anything distract me. Not again. Because I've had people tell me at the beginning of relationships how much they support me, or how they think that, you know, I'm cool or I'm neat or whatever, and that, you know, all of the things I'm doing is awesome, and then it all flips. And I don't want that anymore. I want the life that I want. I want to own my own home so that I don't need to live in fear of being homeless. So that is a big drive for me. I don't want to be famous. I want to be able to be financially stable. There's a lot of people out there on social media chasing that whole fame game thing, and I don't want that. Like, I just want to make enough so that I can have a home that no one's allowed to come in, that'll keep me safe from the outside world that's full of fragrances. Because people get to leave their fish bowls and explore the world and be free in it. And I don't. Like, I don't get to go to stores, and when I try to, it makes me super sick. I don't remember the last time I've been in a store. Or, like, it's been in a store and it didn't make me really sick. So, and having, like, an art studio? Oh, that would be amazing. Or just even, like, having a house with, like, a room or a garage that I could convert into a studio where I could store my artwork so that it's not shoved in various closets and stuff like that. Can I camp outside your house? Well, you know, ideally what I would like to do is build a house and then put like a big dome over it so that I have like a little greenhouse myself, and then I can grow vegetables and shit. There'd be like a door, but no one would actually be allowed in it, so you could camp outside of the bubble. And if you were like, you know, scent free and stuff, then maybe you could camp inside of the bubble. But then, like, the weather would be, like, good there year-round. I'd have my own little, like, ecosystem and stuff. It'd be like a snow globe. Kinda. You know, but without the snow. I don't know. I'm just ranting and raving. But at the same time, like, there's been a lot of stuff that's happened in my life, and that's why I am the way that I am, and that's why I talk the way that I do about things. And I understand that people are not necessarily going to just understand or get it. I've gone through a lot of stuff. I went through a lot of stuff at a young age, and I had a midlife crisis probably in my 20s. So I've gotten to a point where I see the world a lot differently, and I can relate to the older generation, people that are much, much older than me, because of the stuff that I've gone through. And like it's nice, but I find it harder to relate to people my own age and younger. And a lot of it has to do because of a lot of the stuff that I've been through physically. And people on the internet that I've met who have similar diseases and stuff, they understand. And other people that don't have diseases try to understand. And I appreciate that, because that shows that there's hope for humanity to come to a place where they can be more accepting and more inclusive of people who are chronically ill and who have mental health diagnoses. And yeah, I think there's a lot of hope in that way, even though humanity pisses me off at times. But anyways, I'm just rambling now. I should probably go. I'll bathe myself in charcoal for the campfire to detox myself while it's still on fire. No, don't light yourself on fire. Don't do that. Well, I appreciate you guys listening to me natter on about things. I just think that there does need to be change, and I think that we live probably in the most egotistical time ever, because narcissism is a word that's like thrown around willy-nilly. Like there's, you know, narcissist here, narcissist there, and as someone who has been around my fair share of narcissists, I can tell you they're not everywhere. And narcissistic abuse is really fucked up, and it will leave you relatively scarred if you've been around a narcissist, whether they've been a family member, someone you've been in a relationship, or a friend. Like, it's not something that is like, oh, that person's a narcissist for whatever, like this one thing that they did this one time. It's like, it's a pattern of behavior, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into narcissism that not everyone understands, especially the manipulation and the harem that they keep, because narcissists will have a harem of people around them who will essentially tell someone who has been abused by a narcissist that, oh no, they're not that way because, you know, they've never been like that with me, and everyone I know that knows that person, you know, knows that they're a good person or whatever. Well, narcissists have a harem for a reason. They have that harem so that they have that fallback plan of people that they can manipulate into believing them that they didn't actually do anything to anyone, and that they aren't a bad person, and that they're this and they're that. And the person who was abused ends up becoming the villain in the story. So it's really messed up, the amount of control and manipulation that a narcissist has over people. I should speak at a convention. You're great. You'd be a great speaker. This is the convention. Thank you so much, Smasher. I'm actually working on a TED Talk class, a master class. Ideally to submit a video of me talking. I'll have to change the background because I don't think this will suffice. Probably something, you know, neutral, or just like that blue background that I've got. And do like a little video thing and see if they put it on their website, because there's a lot of things that people don't know about, and one of them is people like me, people that end up getting stuck inside for long periods of time, and sometimes for the rest of their lives. There was a woman in one part of Canada here, she actually applied for assisted suicide because there was no accommodation for her to live. She actually ended up basically doing the assisted suicide because she had multiple chemical sensitivities. So she was allergic to like fragrances and cleaning products and all of this kind of stuff. And she had a really hard time finding anywhere that would accommodate her, and it's because there is no place. There's no place for low-income people to just go that has no fragrance. You know, people are always like, go to a shelter. Yeah, well, shelters get cheap products, so they end up getting stuff that are like, you know, whatever is cheapest, and it's usually the most heavily fragranced, and so that makes it impossible for someone in, like, say, my position to just go somewhere like that if I needed that. All of the, like, low-income housing is generally shared in a building where you share laundry and that sort of stuff. So the sad reality is people here in Canada are feeling the need to, like, end their lives because they're not feeling like they matter in society in that way, and like they're not being paid attention to. And I think it's a very huge disservice and extremely just dehumanizing to numerous people to just basically allow them to end their lives because as a society we're too far behind, you know, with being accepting and open and accommodating, especially for rare and complex forms of disability. But I think multiple chemical sensitivity actually affects quite a larger population than mast cell activation, so it is something that they should change. You know, something that's actually really helped me to speak a lot more has actually been making videos and, like, on YouTube, but also, like, talking here on Twitch. I remember the first time I did a Just Chatting, I got so nervous and I couldn't say anything because I'm very introverted and I think a lot. My nose is so itchy. And so it was very difficult for me to try to talk about anything. But over time, by doing, like, this TED Masterclass talk and then, like, having to do presentations in university, even though they're, like, online or whatever, it has really helped me to find my voice, because I have wanted to, like, I want to talk about stuff and I don't feel like I'm given the platform or the stage to do that, and that's why I went to the internet, because I was like, I can't just go to a convention center and just start talking randomly. You know, no one's gonna just show up for that. But if it did get to a point where I was able to do something like that, that would be amazing. I would be all over that for sure. I would like TED Talks a lot more if there was a murder scene behind them. Yeah, so if I just, like, I don't know if I should do that though, because I don't know if they'd take me seriously or think that I was a little loopy. And it is a serious topic, so it might actually work considering the topic I want to discuss. So maybe I should do it, but maybe I'll do one with and then one without and just submit both. But yeah, because that's something I wanted to do. Like, when I first heard about TED Talks, I was like, I want to do that someday. It's on my list of, like, things to do. Because I feel like there are talks about, like, you know, there's talks about ableism and there's talks about different kinds of illnesses and that kind of stuff, and there's different kinds of artists and that sort of thing. But I don't feel like a lot of them, if any, I don't feel like I've fully been able to relate to, especially, like, given my unique situation. So I feel like having my perspective out there may help other people like me feel less alone. And that's another big driving factor behind a lot of the stuff that I do, is that, like, loneliness that I felt for 15 years and still feel to this day. I don't want other people to feel that. I want to help people feel seen and heard, because people with chronic illness, people with disabilities, people with mental health diagnoses, we all at times feel invisible or dismissed. So I want to help change that. But, you know, I am just nattering on here, so I should probably just head off and go wash my face. Hey, how's it going? Surge FTP, I hope you're having a good night so far. I think I'm gonna head off though. Welcome to the stream. I'm just about to end. I decided to chat there for, I don't know, half an hour or something after I gamed, but even doing that it's a good idea, just because I feel like I get some stuff out that way, and, you know, hopefully share some of my perspectives with you guys, and who knows, I might be able to use it for YouTube, depending. I have to watch it through and see. But yeah, I'm pretty tired. It's like 9:30, so by the time I, like, get everything taken down, it'll probably be like 10. And I gotta get up and work on homework. I got like, I don't know, 5 different research articles I have to read. So I should get on that, but thanks for listening to me chat. I appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll do probably some like reaction stuff and watch a couple things, and then not sure what we'll play. We might get back into the Evil Within, but I got a little tilted there with that one, so we'll see how it goes. But my nose is super itchy, so I need to wash this makeup off. Like I didn't use obviously the fancy makeup today, but we'll see. For the road. The chicken dance for the road. Well, thanks. I appreciate it. I don't think I can raid anybody because my chat's not there. What did I scratch my hand on? It's not on this scene. What's not on this scene? Oh, it is. Wait, what's not? It popped up. It was in the corridor. My stream is just behind. Hey, that's okay. Well, thanks for hanging out. I hope everyone has a good evening. And, yeah. Yeah. I don't know who's on. If you just want to pick someone, that's cool. I probably won't. I'll like say hi or whatever, but I will have to leave I'll just lurk.